Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got a question today via email about cover letters, and I haven't really talked about cover letters before when applying for a job. So I thought I would talk about that a little bit, about what I think about cover letters and what I think makes a good cover letter, and if you should use one or not. So basically, what is a cover letter, right? A cover letter, when you apply for a job and you submit your resume, a cover letter is a letter you attach with it that introduces you, talks about the position, is basically your, couple of paragraphs to kind of sell yourself before the resume. Really, you could view it as part of the resume. Technically, like a lot of people have used that to customize. That's the customized part, and the resume is not the customized part. Now, I don't think you should use it that way. I think that the resume should be customized for the job you're applying for as well. I've talked about this a few times, but basically what you want to do when you apply for a job is, first of all, you don't want to apply cold. And so if you are going into and you're just submitting for jobs in a job database and submitting cover letters, it's really not going to make much of a difference. Maybe having a good cover letter is going to matter more so there because someone would actually read it. But that's the wrong approach to start with, right? So first of all, if you're applying for a job, you want to get a job as a software developer, the best thing to do is to build a name for yourself and build a brand so that companies come to you. That's the number one best thing to do. I talk about this in my How to Market Yourself as a Software Developer course. This is the focus of this course, is how to market yourself and build that name so that you can have companies come to you. So check that out if you haven't. You can also find it in my soft skills book, by the way. There's a chapter in there, or a couple of chapters. But if you can't do that, or you're not at that stage yet, then the next best thing to do is to network ahead of time. And I don't like the word networking, but to get to know people ahead of time so that you get a personal referral, right? So do that. Secondly, make sure that you get a referral. Don't just cold apply to a job. You're going to have a lot less chance of getting an interview and getting that job. Make sure there's a lot of ways to figure out how to meet someone ahead of time. I've got a chapter in my Soft Skills Software Developer's Life Manual book, if you haven't read that already, that talks about this. It talks about the best way or cracking the job interview, and it's basically talking about that, how to build that up. But regardless, when you do apply for the job, I want to give you those two pieces first so that you realize that those are going to be more important than what I'm going to tell you now. Because cover letter, in comparison to those, if you do those things, right, if you do the first thing, it's a slam dunk. You're getting the job and you're going to get a high paying job. The interview becomes a formality. If you do the second thing and get a referral, that's going to take care of 80%. You're going to have 80% of your effectiveness is going to come from there, and that's going to determine you're going to be much more likely to get an interview and to get the job than having a good cover letter. A cover letter is only going to be a very small fraction of that importance, right? Okay, but let's talk about it. So if you're going to make a cover letter, the cover letter definitely should be custom tailored to that specific job, right? And that cover letter should be in as plain English as possible, right? You want to communicate to them the asset that you're going to bring to them, and you want to show something that you know about that company or that position that shows that you've researched it and you are really thinking about the way that you can provide them value. Think of it as a proposal to a company. You're not saying, look how great I am. You're saying, look, I happen to know that your company is currently growing, like your revenue went from $10 million to $20 million over the last 3 years, and you're focusing on growing in this area, and I can help you because I have experience here, and I can see that from this job this is what you're looking for, and I've done this before. I know how to help someone grow in this area. I can contribute to your bottom line. I can build a platform like you're asking for. I can build an automation framework. I am an expert in C++, and I can help you build your back-end system. You see what I'm saying? You got to tell them what is the thing that you've researched that you know that they want, and how you're going to give it to them. And that's the key, because you're not going to get a lot of opportunities there. So you really want to make that clear, that the value that you're going to provide. You want to make it so that it's like you got something that they got to have. not I'm bragging about how great I am or how great it would be for you to hire me. I would really like this job. That's bad. No one cares if you would really like that job. They want to know, what are you going to do for me? And more specifically, what specific thing are you going to do for me based on my specific problem? This is how you nail a cover letter. If you can identify their specific problem that they have, that their pain that's hurting them more than anything else, this is the thing that we've been struggling with. And you can say, I can address this, and this is how I can address this. Bam. That's the best that you could possibly do. That doesn't mean you're going to get the job. Doesn't mean anyone's even going to read the cover letter. But if you're going to write a cover letter, do it that way, right? And make it, don't use highfalutin, $5 words. Make it clear and simple so that someone can understand exactly what value you're providing, what problem you're solving for them, and how you're going to solve it. That's it. That's simple. It's not that hard, right? So that's what I would recommend if you do include a cover letter. Now, should you include a cover letter if you're submitting a resume? Why not? Right? If you can do that, you might as well, right? You should always be doing all the things that you can. There's no reason to not do it. I can't think of it actually hurting you unless you write some kind of generic form template cover letter. So, I've talked about having a professional write your resume. I still think you should do that. You can actually, I've got a resume writer service that I'll link to right here that you can, if you need a referral for that, and you can of course read about it in my soft skills book. But I'm not sure that I would have someone write your cover letter. Simply because you can't just get a cookie cutter version of this. You're going to have to do what I said if you want to write a good cover letter, and it should come from you. It should be clear in your communication. Another good cover letter is a video, right? Can you sit and do a video and send that instead of a written cover letter? Anyway, hopefully that helps you. If you have a question for me, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.